Okay, we're going to do a quick demo of the new feature available in CribOps Desktop for Mac. We have a new project type. So when we launched the service, we only were supporting launching into the AWS cloud, as many cloud accounts as you wanted, as many projects as you wanted. But as some of you may remember, the CLI has always had the ability to install N8N locally on your machine via Docker container. So if I click over here on the Create First Project, it's going to ask for your project name. I'm going to say My First Project. And then here's the new part where it's asking for a project type, local or AWS. Local is the one that's going to install locally with Docker Compose. The next thing, it'll ask you if you want to override the project location. By default, it will save the project along with the workspace that you have. And in my case, I've saved it in a iCloud drive so I can access this project from any of my Macs, which is super handy. Next thing is local configuration. So these are the ports that you're going to be able to access N8N and Postgres locally from your machine. So if you happen to have more than one N8N instance installed locally, or you happen to have Postgres installed locally on your machine, you're going to want to change the ports from the default so that you don't have conflicts. I'm going to go ahead and do that now just for grins. So I'm going to put some random ports in there. Then the next question is enable Cloudflare tunnel. I'm going to turn that on. That is a free service provided by Cloudflare that enables you to create a public proxy and a tunnel along with a SSL certificate to access your N8N or other web services for free, essentially making your locally installed N8N instance available on the public internet. So again, what do we call this? My first project. So I'll do my first project, and then I'm just randomly doing this stuff. My first project.cloudbedrock.com. You will want to use unique domain names as you launch each of these, so you don't have problems with the tunnel configuration. So MFP, cloudbedrock.com, I'll hit create. So that first step is the only thing it's done is create a folder structure and stored some of the information about what it needs to be configured in the Docker Compose file. Now we're going to generate those files with one button. And here we go. It's going through the process of generating environment variables and Docker Compose files and those kinds of things. And now everything's all set up. It also generates the tunnel config that talks to Cloudflare and makes all that magic happen. So we close that window. Then you want to start it. And that is going to start. I'm going to show what it's looking like in the Docker desktop. You don't have to do this. It's just visually you can see what's happening. You won't need to really touch the Docker desktop for these particular projects. You can if you want, but CribOps essentially manages that entire project. So you can see visually what's happening here as it goes through and starts each container. The first start takes a bit because N8N has to, wait for Postgres to be enabled. Then it has to do its first start creating all the databases that are part of N8N. And then once all that's done, Cloudflare is waiting for that to happen, and then it creates the tunnel. So now the next step is to go and connect to open N8N to get your first user experience that you're kind of used to having, depending on how many times you've installed N8N. And I'll skip that part for now. Okay, so the next thing is to go and get your API key. If you forget to do that, if you don't remember where the API key is, we're actually going to surface a button for you on CribOps that says API key required. You can click that button, and it will take you to the API key screen. I'm going to come in here and do test, no expiration, hit save, copy this API key. Then come over here and you see it says API key required, and then there's the key set. If you click that, paste in your API key here, hit done. Now it says the API key set. Now come over here and do set up database credentials. And what this will do is, interestingly enough, set up database credentials. But what it's really doing is it's setting up N8N database credentials. It's also creating databases that can be used with uh, N8N for different purposes, like your agentic workflows where you need to have a Postgres memory. We have a CRM database that has it's just an empty CRM table that you can go in, or a database that you can go in and create your own tables and do with what you wish. And then there's a database called RAG, and RAG has the PG Vector extension enabled, so you can do RAG workflows with PG Vector. So we come back over to our API screen and then go back settings. And then if you go click to credentials, like magic, you'll see all those credentials that have now been created for the various databases. You can come in here and you can see that that's all working. That's it for the quick get up and running as fast as you can. But we also have the ability to stop the instance. So it's going to stop your container. And if you come over here and look inside of Docker Desktop, it's gone. But if you hit start again, everything's going to come back. Nothing's been deleted. It's just been stopped. Okay. So it'll take a sec, go a little bit faster than the initial installation, and it'll start it back up. Updating. So this is one thing I constantly hear from people is, how do I update to get the latest version of N8N? Because N8N's telling me I have all these new features in the lower left-hand corner of my console, and I have to have them, and I have to have them now. So that's easy enough as well. You can come over here and click Update. And what that will do is it will bring down N8N. It will run Docker compose pull to pull all the latest updates, and then it will start it again. So you're able to get up and running on the latest and greatest from N8N, and off you go. That's kind of it in a nutshell as far as the local features go. When you're done, if you are done with this particular project and you don't need it anymore, you can simply, and we'll come over here so you can see it on the screen, what happens when you do it. If I come in here and say, yeah, I'm done, delete this project, and it's going to say, are you sure? You're really sure? It's permanent data loss. You say yes. Deletes the file, deletes the container, and deletes the data volumes that were there. And you're off for the races. You can have as many of those local instances as your machine can handle. You just have to remember to set up different ports so they don't conflict with each other. And just like the old Steve Jobs presentations, one more thing. Forgot to show you the other feature after you've done the setup database credentials, connect to database. So if I come over here and I say connect to database, and we'll say the N8N database, because that's actually the only one that has anything in it right now, and I say connect to that database, what that will do is open up Table Plus on your desktop and connect it straight to the N8N database. But you also have access to the CRM database, which, remember, is just an empty database that you can use for your purposes. You also have the CribOps memory for use with the Postgres memory node, and a RAG database that also has the PG Vector enabled. So now you can use it for your RAG workflows. So in this case, you have a graphical user interface. You can use that to manage your database, to back up your database, to make changes, to add users, delete users, make security changes. So similar to something like a Supabase, but this is running on your machine and no subscription required. Now, this is a paid tool, but you can use the tool to also connect via things like PG Admin, which is a freely available open source tool you can download. That's it now. I think that's totally it. If you're looking for support for CribOps, a great way to do that would be to join our school community at www.school.com/CribOps, where you can get access to me and other community members to help solve your CribOps related or AWS and N8N related workflow problems.